Okay, inequalities question. The first one, just multiply everything out. This is a linear inequality. All you need to do is get the x's on one side, the numbers on the other side, and divide. Be very careful. If you're dividing by a negative, you'll have to flip the inequality sign. May not happen, but bear that in mind in case it does. Now this second one here, you might be tempted to multiply this out. If you do, you'll find you've got x squareds in it, which makes it a quadratic inequality. And of course, with a quadratic inequality, we want to have the critical values, okay, and then we have to use a graph. Okay, now to find the critical values, we want to know when this thing equals 0, and because it's already factorized for you, that factor times that factor equals 0, you can write down your two values of x really easily. Okay, but then for the graph, you need to draw the graph of a parabola. You've got 2x times x, so it's going to have plus 2x squared. It is going to be the right way up. Okay, and then we need to choose the right section of the graph. We want to be less than 0, so you have to decide whether you want the outsides or the middle. To do that, this is when the answer y equals 0, y is greater than 0 up here, y is less than 0 down here, so you should be able to select the right portion of the graph, okay, and then write your answer appropriately for what you shaded in the graph. If you've chosen the edges, that's 2 sections, so your answer comes in 2 parts. If you've chosen the middle, then that's just 1 part, and your answer appears in 1 part. You should be able to check out your notes for examples of how to express those answers. And finally, in part C, we want both things to be true at once. Okay, so in part A, you've got x being greater than something, or x being less than something. Let's suppose x was less than a particular value there. Okay, and then in part B, we've got x being maybe between 2 values, so there may be 2 values in part B that x has to be between. So it might look something like this. Okay, well if it does, we want both of these to be true, so they're only true where I've got both solutions. So these bits here are the only bits that overlap. So in the case that I've invented, x would be between those 2 values. Okay, you need to adapt that slightly if your situation is slightly different.